when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one dude to stay in bed and take lots of cold medicine, rendering him useless, he must dip back into the old treasure chest of past episodes of past recordings. Please enjoy this encore presentation of Backyard Roundtable and Backyard Backup. I'll see you here shortly when I'm capable of speaking for more than 20 seconds without sounding like a lifelong consumer of unfiltered Luckies. Hey neighbors, come lean on the fence. I have a few more things to say. This is Backyard Backup, because leftovers are good and the fridge is full.
This is Backyard Backup, your midweek snack pack of stuff my dad forgot to say last time and things he thought of since. Have a seat and a slice of watermelon and enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show we will, my dear. It is not your midweek snack pack this week. It's an end of the week late night snack, as vacation threw us a little bit off schedule, but content's being created and we will be back on schedule with a big show and the Backyard Backup, kind of usually where you find them. This week on the Backup, I've got a few things for you. I've got a PSA, a public service announcement for you. Hopefully you will find this useful. I have a bit of a confession on behalf of a group. I've got a cultural moment, and I've got an observation. Here we go, your PSA. I hope you find this helpful. Frozen pizza. Who doesn't love a good frozen pizza from time to time? I think we all do. I do know one or two weirdos that don't like pizza, and that's a cheese thing, and I don't get that either. But anyway, frozen pizza. I'm not getting paid for this, but Tombstone makes a pretty dang good frozen pizza. But I have a problem. My problem is not with the pizza, it's with the cooking instructions. Now, of course, cooking instructions will vary based on your location, your altitude, your relative humidity, and all that nonsense. In fact, if you've ever been up to Pikes Peak, the little cafe they have up there, those little donuts they make that they've actually been making there for over 100 years, they have to make that dough on site. They have to make a special high-altitude dough to get the donuts to rise that high. Anyway, I digress. The cooking instructions on the Tombstone pizza package say preheat your oven to 400, place the pizza on the center oven rack, cook for 14 to 16 minutes, and you're good to go. I disagree. I've been doing this for years. I've perfected this. I'm here to help. On the Food Network, on Food Network Star, they always say, give the viewer a little tip that'll help them with their lives. Well, listeners, here's a little tip that's going to help you with your Tombstone life. So, go ahead and heat the oven to 400. That's fine. Put it on the center oven rack. Also fine. Set your timer to 14 minutes. At that point, look and at the bottom of the pizza, check your crust to see if it's done to the crispiness of your liking. If not, give it another 90 seconds. At that point, open the oven door halfway, turn the heat off, and put it on broil. Let that sucker broil until the cheese on top starts bubbling and is golden brown. At that point, your pizza's done. Go ahead and take it out. If you don't follow these steps, you're just going to have a pizza that's kind of burnt on the edges and raw in the middle. No one really likes that. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully you can take that forward and create some magic in your life. Anyway, so that PSA kind of leads into the confession. So we dropped our daughter off at camp for a week today. She's up in the middle of nowhere doing a bunch of good deeds, a service camp. We won't get into the details, but when we got home, my wife and I did something that all adults, children, are you listening? All adults do when they send their kids away for a week or however much time they send them away for. We walk in the door, take our pants and shoes off, throw them anywhere we want to, go get the ice cream carton out of the freezer, sit on the couch and start eating the ice cream directly out of the carton. Then we have frozen pizza for dinner. After that, we have some cookies. That's what we do when we send you away. And we do that every day, all week long. So there's your little confession. All that stuff that we yell at you for doing, all that stuff we tell you not to do, guess what we do when you're gone? That's right. Suckers. Anyway, confession time. Oh, it's good for the soul. So your cultural moment is the following. I don't know where this is going to go. I'm just going to start running my mouth for a few seconds. We were just out in California, and I've traveled extensively in my life, but I've never spent any time in California or really on the West Coast, much to my chagrin. The weather's fantastic out there. I highly recommend it. But of course, everyone always says, you know what? Oh, watch out for Southern California. Be careful of the weirdos. Oh, they're crazy out there. Well, here's what I learned in California. Everyone is the same all over the place. You've got normal people, you've got weirdos, you've got crazies, you've got not so crazies, you got people that live on tops of mountains and people that live in the valleys, you've got rich people, you got poor people, you got a whole bunch of people right in the middle. California's no different than Illinois or Kentucky or South Carolina or New York or Texas or anything up, down, around, or in between. People just want to take care of their families, do good things throughout the day for the most part, and live their lives and mostly be left alone. In other words, I'm going to paraphrase something that I've heard quite a bit. You know what? You do you, I'll do me. Just don't hurt me and don't take my stuff, and we'll be good. What I didn't learn in California is why the heck we're still arguing with each other about everything, which is nothing. Stop it already. Let me repeat. We all just want to take care of our family, do some good deeds, and get through this life with as little pain as possible. Leave me alone, don't hurt me, and don't take my stuff. In the meantime, I'll go back to Southern California and enjoy the perfect weather. We'll try to figure out all this cultural stuff in the meantime. Good luck. My observation. Millennials, you're killing us. Now, there's a couple of different groups of you. Typically, it's most commonly it's observed that the first millennial year was 1982. That was the year that my little brother was born, so that kind of sticks in my head. Those people became adults, came of age at the millennium. Makes sense, right? Well, they have extended the generation to about anybody born, I think, around 2002 or so. And that's a big wide difference. So you got a whole bunch of different things going on in there. Now, this first group of millennials, they were born under weird circumstances, either to really, really young parents or late baby boomers that had gotten divorced and had children with a second or third or fourth marriage late in life. So they're all kind of twisted up and weird, just like the rest of us, just a little bit differently. Those people are kind of okay. They produced a lot of good pop culture, but they sort of brought us to the death of music in the 90s, which was grunge, which we still haven't recovered from, and all the horrifying fashion and everything that went on in the 90s. But anyway, this kind of middle to later group of millennials that's now making, bless your hearts, I'm not hollering at you, I'm just trying to help. This middle group of millennials that's now out in the public sector and making music and making movies and teaching the kids and doing all the things. You're not funny. You seem to be very sad, and you've suffered from a lack of creativity because, for the most part, culturally, your biggest struggle might have been a latte that was a little too hot and burned the roof of your mouth. My wife, who is not a millennial, is somehow attracted to these movies that were made between about somewhere around the early 2000s, around 2003 to 5 to about 2010 or so, and they're just the worst, the absolute worst. You have to stop it. It's one long, boring dialogue about crap that nobody cares about. Is that harsh? Why do I say nobody cares about it? Because you're not special, dude. We all went through this. No one liked their parents. Blah, blah, blah. No one liked school. Blah, blah, blah. Every movie made by a millennial in this genre should come with the subtitle, "Boring crap that no one cares about because you all went through it. Blah, blah, blah." Bless your hearts. Again, I ain't hollering at you. I ain't mad at you. I'm just trying to help. Go back, look at some of the classics, throw on an old Richard Pryor album, look at some of these comedians that paved the way, these filmmakers, actors, and try to learn something. Stop whining about how terrible your parents were. Good grief. In fact, you know what? Here's a helpful tip. You want to learn how to make a bad movie good? Go watch a Burt Reynolds movie. Dude, Smokey and the Bandit was the greatest movie of all time, and that movie was terrible from a filmmaking perspective. Holy cow. Check some of that out. Listen, y'all, we all got stuff. I'm just playing with you. Listen, I'm a Gen Xer. You know, we were latchkey kids, and our parents perfected divorce. They didn't invent it, but they sure as heck perfected it, so we're all kinds of crazy in our own little way. So join us. Just smile while you do it. Life's okay. Well, I think we can wind that rant down. Millennials, you can send your complaints to blah, blah, blah at blahblahblah.com. I'm sure there's a support group at Starbucks if you can find your way out of your parents' basement. Oh, no! That's right. I'm just playing with y'all because I know you can't take it. Oh, he did it again. Anyway, I got to stop this. All right. So, this has been Backyard Backup, the appendix of Backyard Roundtable. You can find my rambling. That's enough to ponder for now. This episode of the podcast is dedicated to Dayquil, vitamin C, and hand sanitizer. Here's a Thing can be found on the Podbean app, iTunes, Apple Podcast, Here's a Thing at podbean.com, Google Podcasts, and lots of other places in the podcast universe, including TuneIn and iHeartRadio. Episodes will also be posted on Twitter and Facebook. Search everywhere for Here's a Thing. Please subscribe, rate, and review. We need you. Whatever you're about to do, get after it 100%. And if you can't be anything else today, be authentic. It'll pay off. I'm finished for now. Resume your day, and I'll try to survive.